The collapse of money, the danger. From Rome to today, now sit back and think for a moment. What comes to mind when you think of the Roman Empire? Angry barbarians at the gates or emperors getting stabbed in the back. But empires don't just collapse from external blows, they rot from within. And the most important force behind this rot has always been money. Rome collapsed because its money became worthless. Modern states are making the exact same mistakes today. History is still teaching us a vital lesson. If you play games with money, you will pay the price sooner or later. For centuries, the Roman economy rested on the denarius. When first minted, it was almost pure silver. A merchant on the other side of the world trusted it, and so did a soldier guarding the border. The denarius was trust itself. But managing a massive empire started to spiral out of control. With endless border wars and soaring expenses, the Roman budget ran a deficit. Asking for more taxes is dangerous for an emperor's throne, so they resorted to the oldest and most sinister trick in history, quietly debasing the currency. The government collected silver coins, melted them down, mixed in copper, and minted them again. The numbers summarize it perfectly. Under Augustus, coins were 95% pure silver. 200 years later, under Caracalla, it dropped to 50%. By the mid-3rd century under Gallienus, it dropped below 5%. The shiny silver coin was replaced by a cheap bronze token coated with thin silver paint. The public immediately realized the money lacked its old weight and color. What followed was an absolute nightmare. Inflation skyrocketed. To buy a sack of wheat that used to cost 1 denarius, you now had to carry bags of money. Trade collapsed back into barter. Emperors printed even more worthless money to fix it, creating a vicious cycle. Things got so bad that between 235 and 284 AD, Rome fell into absolute chaos. Finally, Emperor Diocletian stepped up, and in 301 AD he issued an edict setting maximum prices for everything, threatening anyone who disobeyed with the death penalty. The result? A total fiasco. When money itself is trash, you cannot freeze prices by law. The black market exploded, shops shut their doors, and official trade stopped. Western Rome was already deeply ruined from within. The obsession of governments to save the day by devaluing currency never ended. Look at Germany in 1923. In a massive debt trap, after WWI, they printed marks like crazy. A loaf of bread that cost 1 mark before the war became 200 billion marks within a few years. People brought wheelbarrows full of cash to the bakery just to buy a single loaf. In 2008, Zimbabwe made the exact same mistake. Inflation hit 89 sextillion%. Eventually, they threw their own currency in the trash and started using the US dollar. Let's come to the modern world we live in. In 1971, the US completely ended the dollar's link to gold. Once this link broke, the world transitioned into the fiat money system. Pieces of paper backed by nothing but the government's promise. Modern governments started emptying the value behind money, just like the Roman emperors did. Today, the purchasing power of our money melts away day by day. To buy something that $1 could buy in 1971, you need to pull more than $6 out of your pocket today. The modern system packages this beautifully, calling inflation growth and borrowing investment. But the value of the money in our pockets is quietly being drained away. And today this risk is much greater because the entire global economy is connected. When one place crashes, the wave hits us all. What's the takeaway for us? There are a few clear lessons we need to take away from this story. Inflation is a choice. It is a hidden tax implemented by governments to cover their budget deficits. Don't fall in love with pieces of paper. Real assets are not numbers on a screen. Hard times favor land, a productive business, gold, or your own professional skills. Never say, "Nothing will happen to us." If you told a citizen living in Rome's golden age, "One day, no one will even be able to buy bread with these coins," they would have laughed right in your face. But it happened. Once trust is shattered, financial systems collapse. First gradually, then all at once. When money loses its reality, society's bonds disappear. The enemies at the gate only strike the final blow. The real danger is always inside the treasury. If what I've told you sparked a new idea in your mind, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Because the way to understand life is to understand the past. Take care of yourself.